Hey, what's up, Salt Strong family? This is Pat Ogletree, your favorite traveling fishing coach. And in this video, I want to talk about some common mistakes that people make whenever they first start using artificial lures. And this could be several different types of people. We're talking about people that have been fishing for a very, very long time, but they've only used live bait and now they're switching over to artificial, or they want to switch over to artificial, or this could be people that are just now getting into fishing. Now, I understand whenever you go to the fishing store, say you go to, a Dick's or an Academy or a Walmart or even a Bass Pro Shops, it can be a daunting choice. You go to the artificial lure section and there's just so many options out there. You've got your soft plastics, you've got your hard plastics, you got top water, middle of the columns, floaters, sinkers, just all different kinds of bait, and it can be confusing. So you do what most people do, and that's do an internet search. So you go onto Google or you go onto YouTube, but the problem is the searches that you get back, or the answers that you get back, are in the hundreds of thousands, if not millions. Now, the issue with that is it's all different opinions, so you really don't know which direction to go. And that leads to my first mistake, and that is not even trying at all. So what I'm going to do at the end of this video is I'm going to give you an option that's going to keep it super simple, and you'll be able to use this to catch some fish on artificial lures. So the best thing that we could do whenever we're trying a new technique, whether that be live bait or whether that be an artificial lure, is to gain confidence. And how you gain confidence is have quick success. So at the end of this video, I'm going to give you something that's going to give you the best odds of having quick success when it comes to artificial lures. So this brings me to the second mistake, and that is when you're at the shop and you wind up buying all these lures that you're just kind of taking a stab at because you really didn't know. You take them out on the water and you start going through them. You'll fish one for 5 minutes, take it off, fish another one for 5 minutes, take it off, and you're not having any success, so therefore you're not building up any confidence, and that is a big mistake. So that is something that we need to take a look at, is just to limit the amount of lures that we're going to start out with. We want something that we can build confidence with quickly. So the next mistake is going to be rigging those lures. Now, because it's an artificial lure, there are some rigging that you have to do, and there can be some mistakes made. Now, I'm going to put some links down below on how to properly rig some of these lures that we're talking about, but what we need to do is make sure it's a natural presentation. If they're rigged wrong, they could twist in the water and look unnatural, and that's going to turn the fish off, or we could not use enough weight, have it too far up, or we can use it too much weight, have it splash in water, make a lot of noise. So the rigging is something that is important, but it's a lot easier than what you think it is. And like I said, I'll put some links down below on how to rig lures properly. So another mistake that I want to talk about is worrying too much about color. Now, color can be important, but it takes a little while to build confidence in a lure. And what I want to do is I want to talk about a lure that can actually help you in most situations out there. True, there are some colors that are going to work better in some situations than others, but I think as a beginning angler and somebody that's just starting with an artificial lure, that is a subject that really kind of can dilute things. You'll get that paradox of choice, and you'll get paralyzed by not making a decision because there's too many choices out there. So we're going to stick to just one basic color for now. So what we want to do when it comes to an artificial lure, again, we've said it before, is we want to get confidence in it quickly, and we're going to play a numbers game. What we're going to use is we're going to use the most common color with the most common size profile, and we're going to combine those together. And my favorite lure for this situation is going to be a 3.5-inch white paddletail. Now, I understand that this is where we normally talk about a certain pitch for a lure, and to be honest with you, I'm not really too concerned about brand. Use whatever brand you want, but I want it to be a 3.5-inch white paddletail. Now, why a 3.5-inch lure? The reason why I say a 3.5-inch lure is there are some situations where a larger or smaller lure might produce more bites, but overall in a numbers game, the 3.5-inch profile will get you the most bites in a given day. Now, why white? White is one of those universal colors that works in almost every single water condition that I've ran across. I've caught fish on a white bait all the way from South Texas up to the north end of Virginia. I've fished it in very, very clear water down in the Keys, to tannic water that's in the Big Bend of Florida, to the muddy water that's in the northern coast of Texas, and I've caught fish on that white color in every single one of those situations. It's just a great universal color. Now, that doesn't mean there won't be some colors that will outproduce it in other times. But as a beginning angler, I don't want you to worry about which color is going to be the best. Just throw white in the beginning, and then we can dial it in after you gain some confidence in using artificials. Now, why are we using a paddle tail and not a shrimp imitation? Well, it's simple. A paddle tail is just an easier lure to fish. You cast it out and you reel it straight in. Now, the reason why I don't say an artificial shrimp is because you have to impart the action on the artificial shrimp. If you're brand new to artificial lures, not only are you trying something new by going from live bait to artificial, now you're trying to figure out how to work the bait, and there's just too many things that, come into play there. And a paddle tail is just a simple lure where you just cast it out and you reel it straight in. It's just that simple. Now, to simplify it even more, I'm going to give you two different ways that you can rig this that's going to cover most of your situations. The first way, and this is when you're fishing in water that's less than 3 feet deep, is going to be on a weighted rigging hook like this one right here. This just so happens to be the Haas Helix. It's a 3/0 with a 1/8. I don't care what brand you use. Owner makes them, Gamakatsu makes them. There's a lot out there. I just like using the Haas Helix. Any of them will work. But anytime that you're fishing 3 feet or less, put it on one of these rigging hooks and just straight reel it in. Now, it doesn't matter if you're fishing a grassy bottom, a soft muddy bottom, or oyster beds. That doesn't matter, but this weight right here and this profile is going to work really good in 3 foot of water or less. Now, when it comes to fishing water that is over 3 feet, say to that 3 to 8 foot, I want you to put it on an open jig head like this one right here. And I want you to put that on a 1/4 ounce jig head. And what that's going to do is it's going to work better in deeper water. And the reason why it's going to do that, it's going to be able to sink a little bit quicker and get down to where those fish are. If you're fishing 3 feet high and 8 feet of water, you're really going to reduce the amount of strikes that you get. So you want to get that lure down where the fish are. So use a heavier jig head like an open jig head. I don't care what color it is. This just so happens to be white. A lot of the jig heads that I use are unpainted. Some people like chartreuse, some people like red. It doesn't matter to me as long as the weight is a 1/4 ounce and you're fishing it towards the bottom. Now, as far as retrieval goes, just like I was saying before, you don't have to impart any action with a paddle tail. Yes, there are times that sometimes that works better, but again, we're talking about people that are starting out with artificial lures. Let's just keep it simple and do a straight retrieve. And the speed of what I want you to retrieve it at is to where it barely clears the bottom, meaning every couple of seconds or so, you'll feel it tick and hit the bottom. That's when you know you're at the right speed. If you're reeling it in and you're not hitting the bottom every once in a while, you're probably going a little bit too fast and you need to slow it down. Now, there are going to be some times where that is not going to be the best retrieve, but again, we're playing that numbers game to where we're putting you in the best situation to get as many strikes as possible. Now, I'm going to put some links down below on how to rig these properly on both that weedless rigging hook and also the open jig head to make sure that it's nice and straight and you can get it right each and every time. So just to recap, we're looking at a 3.5 inch white paddle tail, whatever brand you want. I prefer that Slam Shady. I really do like it, but any other brand will work as long as it's white. And 3 feet and under, we're going to put that on a 3/0 1/8 ounce rigging hook. And anything that's over 3 foot, 3 to 8 foot, and even heavier if you're going to go deeper, that is going to be on a 1/4 ounce open jig head like this one right here. Between those two setups and that lure, I am pretty confident that I can go anywhere in the country and be able to put some fish in the boat. Now, from there, after you build that confidence up and you're starting to figure out how to fish with that artificial, you can start dialing that in a little bit more. Maybe we can change some profiles or some colors or something like that. But I really want you to stick with a white 3.5 inch paddle tail. That is going to give you the confidence to start using artificial more and more often. So I hope this helps you out and I hope you learned something from this. And this is what I did when I first switched over from freshwater to saltwater, was I just stuck with one lure and I gained confidence on it. And I knew that I would be able to go out and catch fish on that lure. And then from there, I was able to change things up and really dial in that bite. But hopefully you can do the same. Now, if you're looking for a place to purchase any of the lures or the hooks that I mentioned, you can go to fishstrong.com where we have them there. The items that I recommend is the Slam Shady 2.0 paddle tail and the 3/0 Haas Helix 1/8 ounce hook, along with the 2/0 1/4 ounce Haas football jig head head for the deeper water. And remember, our insiders will get a discount off the retail price. So go to fishstrong.com for more details. As always, I really appreciate you watching, and as a traveling fishing coach, you never know where I'm going to end up next, and maybe I'll see you out on the water soon. And if you're new to Salt Strong, just know that we are the best online fishing club in America, where we guarantee that you'll catch more fish in less time, and we do this through premium education and a new fishing app that we have that's called Smart Fishing Spots. Not only does it tell you where to fish, but it will actually tell you when to fish with amazing accuracy. And all our insiders get a discount on the tackle that they need to become successful inshore anglers, and they meet new friends fast, or it's free. For more information, go to saltstrong.com, and until then, we hope to see you in the insider community soon.